Welcome back to another episode of Not Censored. Today we're joined by Alfie. Introduce yourself, man. How are you doing?
Yeah, so my name's Alfie. I'm currently at Warwick studying maths and physics as a joint honours. I happen to know this lovely guy through photography.
I love it. Well, no, through school actually. Through school, but I'll take through photography. To be fair.
We've done some.
We've done a
cool
lot to
shoots
be
in the
fair.
past, haven't we?
And if you want to put, I'm just gonna there. That's gonna be
We've
annoying.
done quite a bit, haven't we?
We have done a lot to be fair.
Go-
I think a lot
go way
more
back.
than we recollect because it's like we've done so much that it just blurs into one. To be fair.
Well, this guy's like my photography sensei. I've
I
said this
appreciate
before.
it. No, I
say it
genuinely
again.
appreciate that. I
All the
genuinely
tips
do.
I've got is from all the.
And I'm not
shoots we've done together.
I'm not like the way that he's pinning this. I'll take
best photographer in the world.
I'll
yeah.
take it, but I'm not at that level yet. Soon, one day, but I appreciate that, man. But university, let's dig into that. Let's start. I've
Definitely.
had a lot of debates about university in the past few months. Is it a scam?
Okay, let's break this down.
Oh wow, you
nine-
came with the stats. Sorry.
9.25k a year.
Yeah, bro.
For that-
Come on, man. For that much, and I'm living in. No.
For that, you
Wait,
get...
how much lecture time do you get?
So for me, it's a bit more than like the average person. For me, it's about 18 contact hours a week, which is a bit more than usual because it's a maths-based subject. For like philosophy, English, they get maybe like 12, 10 type thing. So you could argue that you get your money's worth a bit more in maths course, but
I think in creative courses you get like 3 or 4 lecture hours a week.
I know for my brother studies theology, he does.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really go to lectures, but he gets about...
Big up Alfie's brother, I see you.
But he gets about 2 lectures a week. It's terrifying. So you could argue that in a maths course you get your money's worth a bit more.
Okay, let's put the tuition fee aside. Accommodation fee. Was it £6,000 a year?
About 6,200, I believe, for the whole thing.
To live in a little cupboard, guys.
Average size cupboard, I'd say. Average size cupboard. Honestly, it's... yeah, you go into the room and you just think, oh my goodness, this is tiny, there's nothing there. This is scary, help.
You're basically a real life Dobby.
Kind of, yeah. Like, it's not as bad as it looks, because, like I said, you go in there and you think, this is a bit scary, this is small and tiny.
What? No, but you're being thrown in to a flat that has like 6 other, or like I don't know how many people, random people that you've never spoken to, and you're just told to get along.
It's
sharing the kitchen, the fridge. Yeah. Some people even share the toilet. I don't know how you do that. But
I share my bathroom with one person.
Do you actually? Oh, I didn't know you shared.
It's only one other person, so it's actually quite good. But the best part about it is that like you start to put things in your room. You start to make a pin board. You make like a little mood board and get like computer set up. In like a week, it's all you and lovely and.
Yeah. Have you ever had a situation where you needed to go to the toilet and? I love how you knew where I was going.
Casual sip of water. Yeah.
Oh God! Let's dive into what happened. It
was just like I had a lecture in about 5 minutes. I was ready to set off. Yeah. And I was like, quick wee before the lecture.
Nope, not today. Nice.
Long story short, I had to hold it in for like 2 hours. It is what it is. It won't be university without these lovely little
6k to not pee in your own room, lads. 6k. Oh my God.
Honestly, I know I'm probably painting the picture that it's not very fun.
Yeah, no, I'll go with that. 6k. 6k plus to not even have the leisure of going to the toilet to excrete. That's all that needs to be said. Anyway,
it's better than it sounds, I promise.
Anyway, he loves it there.
Oh yeah. But like on a genuine note though, it's like obviously it's got its flaws. It's
100%.
But like it's hard to explain it.
No, bro. I'll be honest with you. Do the flaws outweigh the positives, or is it the other way around?
As in like living there, like the whole
whole bundle.
Yeah, I mean, I think every student in the country is kind of avoiding the topic of how much money do I have to pay back when I turn 60, you know? But, like, I think from the actual experience, like, even, like, getting rid of the education part, that process of trying to live by yourself, shopping for yourself, doing your own washing, all that whole thing.
Yeah, I do get that,
I think really kind of, like, makes you realise what adult life is like.
But the thing is, Alfie, it leads me to the point of you don't need university for that. Those are common life skills that you accumulate over time. people in their 30s are still doing, like.
Yeah.
And you don't need to... Obviously, it's good to have those life skills, don't get me wrong, and it's better to do that at a young age so you have that sort of ingrained in you. But you don't need uni for all that. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's a plus to it, but you get that in other places.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think that's where, like, the academic side comes in a bit more, where I think, like I said, I'm doing a maths and physics course, and it's more on the demanding side, in the sense where, maybe, like, competitive side's a better word for it, just because...
Is it very intimidating? Because you've got people, like, nationwide coming to your university, and you're...
there's about 500 people
on your course?
studying maths, yeah. I think that includes the joint honours as well. But a lot of mathematicians...
Bro, the maximum for, like, creative subjects is, like, 50.
It's really competitive, yeah. And trying to, like, stand out there is a lot trickier. So, like, in sixth form, you can kind of... If you're good enough and you kind of, like, get up there, it's quite easy to be recognised and kind of... Like,
yeah, because it's less competition, isn't it?
Yeah,
and,
of course.
Not competing with people nationwide.
But in university, when you've got, like I said, 500 people competing, it's not just about kind of accepting not being the best. It's kind of fighting to stay, like, in the game. Like, it's very easy to fall behind.
Yeah, I've heard, because especially the November period, where a lot of people come back home for a reading week, and they're like, why have I got, like, 40?
I don't get reading week.
They're like, why have we got 40, 50 lectures to catch up on? And I was like, right.
It's really scary, yeah. And I remember I was speaking to my personal tutor about this. Everyone gets a personal tutor, it's really good, actually. And I said, I'm going to go home for reading week, meet with family, bit of a breather, and get back in week 7, I'm going to power through an academic weapon. And he looked me dead in the eyes and said, you don't get a reading week, mate.
Oh, that's
£80
so
train! £80!
Did you book it?
I did. We made it work, because we went in the weekend instead, but...
Damn. Bro, he's been stiffed. So well, you speak about A-levels, man.
Yeah.
So yours is an intense course, I'm assuming. So in A-levels, you had intense courses as well, right?
Yeah,
so let's do a little bit of a debate here. Proper academia, man.
I think you overestimate me, yeah.
Proper creative man, and doesn't really meddle in all the academia, really, because I don't really find it that fulfilling for me.
Sure.
And I just think, I feel like creative muscles need to be flexed, and I just do that. Like with this podcast, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do. But, so tell me about the intensity of your course, and in comparison to, like, the art courses, what do you think, like, the art people have to do?
Yeah, so in Warwick, there's a lot of societies you go to, and I think it's a really good way to meet people across the whole university. So I've got a good group of friends which are doing, like, philosophy, law, music, film, like the whole spectrum.
It's a good mix, basically, yeah.
And we're kind of talking about, like, the different pressures there. And I'd say, and I don't like get a whole superiority complex.
Go for it.
It seems like the more, like, mathematical science things, they do a bit more work. I think that's only because Warwick, when it was made, it was kind of meant to be a maths university. That's kind of how it was founded, and then they kind of built upon, like, all the literature, the humanitarian side. So speaking to them, it sounds like they've got fewer contact hours, more heavy assignments. Yeah, I've got more contact hours, more assignments, but each assignment's a little bit like each assignment only takes like a couple hours maybe. So when you talk about intense, it's mainly just about what person you are. So, like, for me personally, I kind of like that structure. Yeah. I mean, if I only had, like, 3 lectures a week, I feel like I'd kind of...
Oh, you'd be chilling. You just fall off, I feel like.
Exactly, yeah. And it's like, I won't say it's like a fault, it's more just my brain's kind of wired to have, every day I wake up, I've got a lecture at 10, lecture at 11, lecture at 3, then I go home and make flashcards. You know, that structure just works very well for me. And that's where I kind of, when I say my course is intense, that's kind of what I mean. It's quite structured and full on every day.
Big up flashcards. I haven't done that since
Quizlet.
Haven't done that since GCSEs. Let's step away from the... I'm gonna put myself in the position now.
Go for it.
Let's talk about A levels here. Let's take it back a year. Not even a year. We only finished this year. It's weird to think about.
Do you think that, like, to say we only did A levels like 5 months ago?
It's so weird.
It feels like 4 years
It's so
ago.
weird,
it's
man.
Terrifying.
Especially when we got study leave. Everything just felt weird, man.
Time just disappeared.
It's just like I could do my own thing, but I go back into school for my exams, and it was very weird to think about. Do you think you could sit 30 hours in front of a computer editing all day? That was my exam, lads. That was my photography and graphics exam.
My brain would melt.
And I had to be doing something in each hour of the day. So it was split between 3 days for each subject. So 15 hours for graphics, and then 15 hours for photography. I'm not saying that they're the same thing. They're definitely not. I think that the arts get so disrespected though, and that's such a universal thing.
I get what you mean.
And I want to know why, or possibly if you could devil's advocate it, on why it gets like that, because I feel it is a very well-known fact, isn't it?
I think from my experience,
I've thrown that in there.
mathematicians have massive egos, basically.
Right,
And so, like, I think that divide between, like, the creative side and,
Yeah.
like, the, like, theoretical side, what do you call
Yeah,
it? I'm
yeah,
not
I
sure
get
what the
what
right
you're
word
saying.
is.
Yeah, academia. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I think, like, that kind of gap has been caused by mathematicians who have massive egos, myself included.
Nice.
I hope I don't have a big ego, but
I don't think
I'd
you do,
fall into...
no.
Thank you.
And
do
I
fall
think you
into
do
that
appreciate
category.
the arts.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, like I said, we do photography things together. I
Yeah,
love my
exactly. It's
music
just
side.
when it becomes a subject, and this is not just a student on student thing. Even school administrators, everything like that, they want to prioritize your English, math, science over the creative subjects. But I think there comes a point where if you keep pushing some agenda across to the child, they're gonna rebel. And for me, that was the case because I wanted. It's like the people that are good at something, especially like the photography and graphics. It makes you feel good when you actually like get appreciated on it, and like when you get appreciated in maths, English, or science, it's good. But it's like it's an everyday thing. Like it's not like I've just read from a textbook and memorized it. Creativity, I've made that. I've made whatever you're seeing.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there in the sense that I completely agree with you from that creative side, but I think that kind of like universalism of those theoretical sides, like the maths and the physics and sciences, it does, I think, for most people, I think probably maybe like 75% of people will get jobs in like the IT, finance, business sector. And I think from that point of view, having those skills that like mathematics teaches you, even if it's not, for example, like when will I ever use the quadratic formula in real life? It doesn't have to be that. It's mainly just knowing the skills of I have this big problem. How can I break this down and tackle each step? I think that's the core skill.
I'm glad you got onto this. What did you learn in GCSE maths? This is a debate. Sorry, lads. What did you learn in GCSE maths that you actually applied to everyday life?
I mean, I studied maths at uni, so every day. No, I get what you mean. And like I said, the actual content, completely agree with you. Like,
do you not use Pythagoras theorem, Alfie, every day to a squared plus b squared
in
plus c squared?
assignments?
That's what I'm saying. No, so if your point makes sense when they teach you something that's actually applicable to real life, and that's not the case with the education system we have right now. You don't even learn about taxes properly.
No, that's that. Yeah, that is a thing that could be a lot better about it. I remember
Because remember, you're 16 when you leave. 17, 18, you're an adult. You need the skills at the 16.
It's a big change.
At least at the beginning skills to survive in 17 and 18.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I remember I went to... This is a few weeks ago, actually. I went to this, like, careers place.
Nice.
And it was about a physics thing, because I think that's what I kind of want to do when I'm older. Not sure. But I was talking to someone there about how you get the experience for the job and kind of what background you need. And I mentioned, do you need a PhD? Do you need a master's? How does it work? And she looked at me in the eyes and said, the most useful thing I learned at university was how to tie my hair back. Or I was like...
Right.
I was like... Of course, I was a little bit like... Tell me more type thing, yeah? But she elaborated and she said that, you know, what she learned about electromagnetism, kind of forgotten about that, but how to apply those skills to problems, that's what she uses every day. So when she's in a job, I think, I can't remember exactly what it was.
I'm still not over the tie your hair back thing.
Yeah, it took me aback.
Imagine if that was your first reply. Oh my god.
But I really like the answer because when she does like I think like medical physics, like working with like
that's hard, man.
like MRI scans, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like the skills she learnt from her degree, how to tackle problems, how to like I said, really break things down, not think about the obvious thing. That's kind of what I think university is trying to teach you. And there are a lot of things like research jobs where that academic side absolutely matters. Like if you're looking at the cutting edge of you know, like technology or like a theory about special relativity, which is like very fundamental to the universe. Yeah. Obviously, that theoretical side absolutely matters, and you can't really work on theories like that if you don't have that theoretical background. But I think the skills that university teaches you and like how to apply yourself, I don't think you can kind of teach that without getting through the nitty gritty quadratic formula,
Yeah.
sine rule, that type
So,
of thing.
do you think you could possibly learn that on your own without having...
That's a very good question, actually.
Like, because a lot of things you can get self-taught now.
I mean, YouTube, look at that.
YouTube is
so many
the
free
best
things.
place to go for... It's the second, like, biggest search engine.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to go to
Second
YouTube.
highest, behind Google itself, which owns YouTube, which is hilarious.
So, do you think you could teach yourself that stuff? Because, bro, let's look at photography. Not to slander photography at university, if anybody's watching, but you can somewhat get a lot of the skills that you need. Obviously, your studio equipment, you need to get in the studio, and obviously you need to be able to do that with the circumstances you have, and uni's an amazing place for that. But everything else, like landscape photography, lighting photography, you could possibly kind of natural lighting.
Yeah, you're right. And I think like you can learn a big proportion of it online. Like I learned a lot about how to code through online things. I did do computer science A level, but a lot of the things I learnt, which I then went on to code like cool projects, a lot of that was through online, sorry. I think another kind of advantage of it all being in person and not being online is kind of having that big group of mathematicians there, or like the people on your course. So like if I was looking online and I was looking at, I have no idea, just a random maths thing, and I kind of got stuck on a little bit, there's not really much I can do to test my understanding apart from just Googling more, like ChatGPT, stuff like that.
Right,
if you've got a big group of mathematicians around you, you've got your lecturer, there's always people you can support.
Yeah, I get that, I do. Boy, it's just weird, isn't it? I don't know, because...
It's a weird concept.
And again, another thing, they're not always free. The lecturers aren't always free when you want them to be. So that's also another... And if I'm paying £9,500 a year, I want the contact time.
It's a lot, yeah. No, I get you. I personally haven't run into any issues with like lecturers not being free. That's not to say that's what it is, of course. All I can say is what I have experienced, and I haven't found many issues with that, but
that's good.
For a lot of people, that isn't obviously the case, and for a lot of universities, that isn't the case as well. But from my experience, I've really enjoyed the whole university experience.
That's good,
and, like,
man. I'm glad.
The way they teach it. It's difficult to explain why, but when you asked me about can you find that content online, the reason I stammered for a bit is because my answer was initially you couldn't find that content online, but I couldn't really describe why.
Yeah.
Because like the way they teach it in the lectures, the way
different.
they go over things, exactly.
Yeah.
You can straight away, if you don't understand something, you put your hand up, you ask them straight away.
I've heard it's very intimidating to ask when you're in like a lecture room full of like 40, 50 different people and you put your hand up. Because people have been, like Pranav on the other podcast, he was like, bro, it's so awkward, man, in first year when you've got like a bunch of other people. And
the first couple of weeks it is, yeah, and then everyone's kind of scared to put their hand up.
Yeah.
But at the end of like term one, people are asking like really silly questions, and then you think to yourself, maybe I can like manage asking one or two.
Yeah.
It's a very like communicative and like communal like experience there. Like if you don't understand the problem, you go to your mate next to you and said, I don't understand question 4 on the problem sheet, can you help me? And it's a very like, you can talk to other people about it. I think that's a very thing. I've heard this phrase so many times, maths is not a spectator sport, and it's in my head and I don't like it, but it's true. Like, be able to talk to people about problems.
yeah,
I know it's weird, but
maths
like,
is not a spectator sport. That's the quote of for this podcast.
Listen to that, yeah.
Damn, I've never heard that before.
I think I hear it like every week at university.
Jesus,
it's
man.
kind of annoying at this point. But no, honestly, they'll be able to talk to people around you and be able to discuss problems. I think that's very invaluable.
And I want to know GCSEs to A levels, because we weren't really, well, we were friends, of course, but we were like in different schools, different environments, and
so I presume you mean from like the academic side, then I guess.
Both, man. Imagine moving from
fairs. So yeah, of course. So like when I went to sixth form, I stayed on at my school, and you obviously moved away.
Yeah.
And I think that when I talked to you about that afterwards, initially it's like, that change is scary, but you seem to learn so much from that.
Do you know how mad it is to go into a room where everybody's in their friendship groups?
Everyone knows each other there.
Everybody knows each other, and you're this one Donny that's come from like far away, and you're like, right,
well, like 10 miles away.
Yeah, and I don't know anyone.
It's scary.
It's scary, but
really scary. And
if you've done that, uni's a breeze.
And yeah, like I said, I didn't I didn't have that experience, of course. So when I went to uni, I think that change hit me a lot harder than I thought. If I would have had that experience like you had, I felt it would be a bit better.
But I think the thing is, everybody at uni's in that same boat, right? Everybody's trying to get to know each other.
I think, like, less than you might expect. It was
Really?
quite odd for me to be there, the only person in my school to go to that university. Most people were in their
Big
own,
up,
like...
come on, Alfie,
Yeah.
come on.
What can I say? But yeah, most people arrived with at least like a few friends they could kind of go with, and
Yeah.
for that first week where everything's very big and scary, to kind of at least have someone to talk to.
Yeah, I get what you
and
mean,
get on with.
yeah.
So yeah, I think if I would have had that sixth-form experience like you have had, maybe things would have been a bit easier. It also doesn't help that I don't like change much as well.
Do you
so-
approach people? Like, or is it more you let them gravitate towards you?
I try to approach people as much as possible. I hope I do anyway. So like, it's like I said, in university, in Freshers Week, I was
Yeah.
really happy with Warwick about this because
Yeah.
they had about 500 Freshers activity. Every society had like 3 welcome events throughout the week.
Jesus, man.
There was game events, there was socials, there was non-drinking socials, there was literally everything you could physically do in that place. So it's so easy to just plonk yourself in this random environment and basically say, hello, my name's Alfie, nice
Yeah.
to meet you, let's
Yeah.
talk about this common point of interest we have. And I think almost all of my friends were made in that first Freshers Week.
How is the drama?
The drama.
Is there any drama in... Bro... Drama in sixth form is mad. Drama in sixth form is mad. Is that the same in university? I 100% guarantee it will be, but I want to know if you're within, like, if you're in there, Alfie. Let me know if you're in the drama.
I try and stay away from the gossip, to be totally
Give
honest.
me the drama. Who's been fighting over you? I mean, no one.
So many people, what can I say? 20, 13, Too many to count.
It's just how it's done.
But like, I feel like everyone's trying so hard to be nice to each other that there hasn't been actually as much drama as I thought. I thought I'd get there, and
think
everyone would be
it'll-
like punching the way out of everything, being awful. Everyone's just been real lovely. I can't lie.
do,
Like,
you think it'll kick in later on in the year?
I think term 2 is where it's gonna be at. Everyone's gone home. Everyone's got this little confidence boost of being back home and
Yeah.
relaxing. I think everyone's gonna get back to university.
Everybody's going to be on their A game. Drama coming your way. Beef is coming.
Yeah. Well, I'll get on the podcast in a few months. I'll tell you all the juicy gossip that's been going
tune in
on.
for that one soon. Oh, mate, honestly, that's mad, though. The drama in sixth form was so hard, bro. It's so drained. GCSEs were even worse. GCSE, oh, bro, we got dragged. Our group especially got dragged into everything.
Your group got.
Oh, it was so
Rigged,
bad,
it was
man.
awful. I feel like sixth form drama is even funnier though because it's.
Did you have any drama in sixth form?
Oh, like the little bits and bobs.
Did you?
But the funny thing about it is that
Do you want to disclose that on here? I'm gonna ask him because I don't know. I don't know if he's what was involving. You don't even have to say.
most of the things in sixth form is just.
Is it boy drama? Because that's so dead.
Like, he kissed who? Like, he had sex with who? Like, oh my goodness! This is amazing! Wow, this is crazy! This is the funny thing. It's the same drama as year 9, but everyone's 17, so it's even funnier. Because, like,
He's hit.
so
Oh, bro.
petty!
Oh, honestly, he's hit the nail on the head with that one. I
like-
can't even lie. It's so true.
Who didn't let me borrow their vape, you know?
Oh. Can we talk about that, please? Do you, bro, remember in year 11, like, I'm pretty sure geek bars were coming out. And then now we're on a whole other pandemic now.
I've forgotten about
Do you remember geek bars?
can't remember
People
now.
used to sneak them into toilet and... Oh, God, they used to think they were so cool as well. So what they'd do is they'd go into the toilet and then they'd send a video of them doing it and doing like a ghost and they'd look really cool with it. And I'd be like... You're literally like 2 minutes away from me. What are you doing?
Like 12 years old as well.
Yeah, bro. Honestly,
I
it's
think I
so
remember-
sad.
Did you tell me about that story where someone like was it during an exam where someone snuck in a vape into the toilet and they got caught?
Yeah. I don't remember who that was, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that
It's
happened.
hilarious.
It's just sad to look back on now.
Has vaping have we passed the vaping?
No,
cloud?
we're still,
Okay,
we're
vaping,
still,
sorry.
we're still very much in that pandemic. I think
Drat.
it got worse. I
Has
think.
it?
I think it got way worse. But you know when it started off in year 11, it was a bit tame. Not everybody had it.
Year 12, I think, is where
Everybody.
it hit for us. Like,
Even year 7s now, man. Year
Oh,
7,
yeah.
8s, everyone is so because it's marketed towards teenagers.
I think 2022 is where it peaked as well. Like we had like vape shops all around our area. as
Yeah,
well,
which
so
is
it was-
weird, isn't it? Where did they just all pop up from, man? It's mad.
you know
There was literally in my sixth form, like around the corner, and he'd obviously sell it.
They knew what they were doing. Yeah.
He'd sell it to everyone. Like, come on, it's not.
Do you have to be 16 to to buy a vape?
I want to say yes.
Didn't really make a difference, did it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, it don't really matter. They're going to give it to you even if you're 14, let's be honest.
Of course, yeah. It's money for them at the end of the day, isn't it?
What do you think of the new rule of cigarettes upping the age each year? Something like that, I think.
What's this? I don't think I've heard of this.
So I think what the government have said now, they want to... So right now, is it 18? Oh, I don't know what's the age you can buy a cigarette?
Yeah, 18, yeah.
Right, so what they're doing each year that passes... I think you can up the level, so it'll be 18 this year, next year it's 19, 20, and then it'll eventually get to an age where you'll have to be like 60 to buy a cigarette.
Whoa!
I think so. I could be wrong. I'm going to put the rule here because I don't know about it fully.
That's interesting. I didn't know that, actually.
Good move, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Good move for teenagers.
Definitely. I just worry that people are just going to... Because they can't buy cigarettes, I'm worried that they're all just going to go on the vape train as well and kind of
I think so,
make that problem even worse. Which, of course, I'd rather people vape than smoke. That's to get that.
I'd rather people went from cigarettes to vaping. The people that just went to vaping from not doing anything is sad, man.
Sure.
Honestly, it's so sad.
And like, of course, like, if someone wants to go and do those things, that's A-okay.
Oh yeah,
it's
no,
like,
I've got nothing against it. It's just I
not.
personally wouldn't do that, man.
Of course not. But I do think like, as much as people try to like sneak it under the rug, I think it is a bigger issue than people realise. You know,
think?
That kind of, not just the vaping itself, but kind of that, like the culture behind that, and getting very focused on one particular substance, I'll call it, even though you know what I mean.
I get what
like,
you're saying. Yeah.
If you can get very easily hooked into that at a very young age,
that's
not just going to stay with you. That's going to just grow like that.
And the thing is, the longer you're on it, it's harder for you to get out of it.
Oh yeah.
And you have to like somewhat start lessening it. Because if you go straight off it, you'll want to go on it again.
Of course, yeah.
That's with anything. But I think it's definitely gotten a lot worse. But that drama's interesting though. Like, I didn't think Alfie was involved in that one. He's
I tried to stay out of it. I'm a little.
No, but the thing is,
peacekeeper.
you get dragged into it no matter what. Especially in A-level, and that laugh said it all, man.
Oops.
You get dragged into it even if you don't want to, because especially if you're good at advice and you're so calm and you never really get involved in drama, people will want to bring you into that situation because they're like, oh, this guy doesn't really get into drama, let's bring him in it, let's see what he does. And it's just no.
Especially with a lot of times people are like, oh, let's get this guy into trouble, that'll be funny. I think it's quite a similar thing where like,
I get what you're saying.
Especially in like year 8, 9, I was so quiet. I hardly spoke at all. I was very reserved. I think
unless it was with the right people. Come on now.
Of course. But I think it was very easy for people to say, this guy is quiet, let's take him and put them in this situation.
Oh no,
it'll be funny.
That's happened with so many people. I think not even just you. I think it's happened with so many people that I've been mates with as well over time. And it's just people thinking that they're easy targets.
Yeah.
But I'd like to say that whenever you were in my group and stuff, I'd never stand for it.
Of course not.
Bro, I hated stuff like, I'm not even going to mention people, but I think you know what I'm on about.
Yeah,
I remember a lot of stuff like that, and I'd be like, no, what are you doing?
No, you
and I don't understand why, because it's like, they've not done anything for you to feel that insecure, so it's just saying a lot about yourself.
Yeah, I think a lot about it, it's just the part of growing up as well. It's like, I'd like to say that, you know, I feel like I'm being a bit pedantic here, but like, it gave you a bit tougher skin as well, trying to...
Yeah, no, of course, but...
I'm not saying I enjoyed the experience.
Yeah, but that can be done in so many different ways instead of just picking on someone. Obviously, that's going to make you way stronger than before.
Sure.
Because you're not going to stand for it. But doing it for no reason and just, well, for their reason, which will be pretty much no reason. It's just they're not happy with themselves.
Yeah, it's something that I think everyone kind of needs to have that arc of... Yeah, because let's be honest, when you're like 14 years old, you're not particularly like confident in yourself, right?
Definitely.
I think it takes a lot of like progress to kind of become the person that you want to be and the person that you hope people will.
Yeah, that's the thing that really weirds people out, I think, because you're all growing and you're all trying to figure out who you are. Everybody, let's say it's a confident person, everybody gets really annoyed by that, especially if they're like unusual for the normal social... like society's norms.
Definitely, yeah.
That's an easy target for them.
Definitely, and I think like a point I was trying to make earlier as well is the fact that because everyone's in that growing phase, it's a very vulnerable time for most people as well, which makes it even easier to kind of like pick on people and find those targets.
You're a bit more fragile. And
yeah, exactly.
That's everyone though. It's almost like the people that try to poke you, they think they're really strong and like they. But mate, I want to go back to COVID. Yeah, let's talk about COVID.
Oh my, lifetime ago, doesn't it,
bro? Four years ago almost. 4 years, man.
Let's put that behind me.
Don't feel like that though, does it? I want to speak about how, because obviously you're in academia, and I want to speak about how COVID affected that for you, because we came back in year. When did we come back actually?
Start of year 11, was it?
Start of year 11, I think,
Yeah.
and then we had another one at the
January year 11.
January to March,
Yeah.
and that took a big toll for a lot of people. But I want to know what your exam things was like, because we hadn't done anything like that or anything. We missed our mocks in year 10.
Yeah, we did.
How are you feeling about that COVID, man?
Yeah, from an exam point of view, it was tricky because they technically did GCSEs at our school. They didn't do GCSEs at our school.
You know what? It was a lot better than other schools.
No, you think?
Yeah, I know so, because the school that I went to after literally cheated in their exams.
Damn.
They literally, bro. You know how we did it all ours in the hall?
Yeah.
They did it in classrooms. They did it in classrooms, man.
Might as well make it open book then, man.
Yeah, fully. They did it in classrooms, and I find that crazy, to be fair. But I think the ones that we did at our school really did set me up for A levels, which was so good.
Yeah.
Even though they weren't the real thing and they took the pressure off the tiniest bit, we were still like, we've only ever done this exam. This is what we need to do.
Yeah.
Even if they'll say the content you knew and stuff like that, but yeah, because we worked for it.
It's a good way of thinking about it, and I do kind of agree in the sense that when it came to A levels, I did find it was a bit easier to kind of know how to revise.
I think a lot more people were stressed when they didn't know what to do and what revision technique. A lot of people didn't know what revision techniques to do.
Well, that's the thing. Like, knowing how to revise it's hard.
It is hard, bro. You have to do so much trial and error, man. Like flashcards,
I've got no idea how to.
blurting, Pomodoro,
I haven't even heard of
Pomodoro.
It's naming flowers at this point.
No, so Pomodoro is like you work 25 minutes, 5-minute break. Work 25 minutes, 5-minute break.
Yeah, I've seen it on TikTok.
Cornell notes. Oh my god, Cornell notes.
I was a Quizlet guy.
You got me onto Quizlet, you know.
Did I?
You got me onto, for my final
Big
A-level
up
exams, Quizlet came in so clutch.
It's great. I still use that at university.
I was
Every
just
lecture.
spamming it. I was like, I love Quizlet, man.
That and Memrise as well. Do you remember Memrise?
Do you remember Seneca?
Oh no, I hated Seneca. I hated Seneca.
I loved Seneca.
I don't know what I had against it. It's just every time I got a flashcard or one of the things right, they'll give me like a Harry Potter meme or like this random dog that was saying hello. It was so weird. I didn't know what to make of it. It scared me.
I love Seneca, man. Because you got like a little flag at the end, didn't you?
Yeah,
like where you could... Come on, man.
I don't know what I had against it. I just had a burning passion for Seneca.
I wish Seneca had more subjects on there. It's only got science. Level up. Get your and psychology, I think. But level up.
Didn't know that.
Would you say it was less stressful going through COVID and not having to have your conventional exams? If that's even the right word, it's not. Bro, still stressed. Let's be honest.
I mean, you know me as well. Like, I tried to like, even though they weren't the real things, I tried to treat them as real as I could, and I tried to do as much work for them as I could do. So I felt that like I tried as hard as I could to not let the COVID exams kind of ruin things.
Let's say you're going back to GCSEs and A levels. What would you do differently now?
Oh,
I'd chill a lot more, to be honest.
No, it's a good point. I feel like, yeah, it's a good point in the sense that I feel like I
think you
spent too
burnt
much
yourself
time.
out. I can't lie, you did, didn't you?
I spent a lot of time revising, and like I got the grades I needed. I'm happy for that. We'll move on there. Yeah. I did feel that like sometimes people were meeting, and I was like, oh, gotta revise further maths. Yeah.
Oh god, further maths. But no, when
we did like further.
yeah, further maths is god. I didn't even do it, lads, and
I met some really lovely people through further maths. Basically, further maths became like a crying session. So we had about 5 people in our class, and we just every week someone was like, I don't want to do further maths. This is pain. This is bad.
but you all stuck it out.
It was like a family, yeah. So
Bro, just a family of pain, you know. Further maths.
We
Jesus.
bonded over the pain of further maths.
That's so sad.
No, it was lovely. It was lovely.
It's like you're trying to tell yourself it was lovely, bro.
It was okay. It was okay.
Oh god, it's all done now though. But
oh yeah, no, but like genuinely, I did enjoy that kind of the A level experience of, you know, going through those tough subjects. You know, it was at the time. But you know, I met some lovely people along the way.
How would you say, like, friendships? Yeah, have they stayed the same from A levels? Have any drifting, everything like that? Because those 2 years determined a lot. Like, especially for me, a lot of people withered away because of how I left and everything like that. People that I was close to. I mean, me and you only really got close again at the back end of year 11.
Yeah.
And I meet you more than the people that I actually spoke to back then.
Sure.
Let's just take that equation and just look at it really carefully. Madness.
But no, you had to work really hard in year 12 to kind of like
Yeah.
find the group and kind of like restructure.
Bro, do you remember the amount of drama that happened in the first month? No, in the first week.
First week.
Do you remember we all met up? All the boys met up, and they were like, "Oh, I was asking you, what's new? What's new?"
Nothing. No.
They were literally all said nothing, and I was like, "Boys, so and so said this, and then so and so has also dragged me into this. This also happened that day. Oh yeah, this in this lesson," and they were all like,
"Yeah,
this is the first week, bro." And they were all like, "What the hell's happened?" And obviously,
we were all bored to tears back at our school. We were kind of
they all looked fuming as well. They were like, "Bro, we've literally tell us about you, man." And I was just like mad, and it felt so weird because I don't really talk about myself like that, and it was like, yeah. Anyway, no,
it's a big part of your life though. That kind of that.
Oh, it definitely
transitioning
was.
and
It definitely was.
I think it made you in the whole like.
Oh,
long
yeah.
term, made you a better person. Like
No,
kind of going
100%.
through that. Even at the time, it's so like really did. But
Because,
like,
bro, imagine new area, new people, new
Yeah, oh my, yeah.
environment. It's mad, man.
it's a new town as well. Like,
Yeah,
kind of.
I loved it though because everything was new, and I thought that's what I needed after 5 years in the same place.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that new became old very quickly. I can't lie.
Yeah, how long did it take for it to?
It didn't. You know what? The honeymoon phase was like 3 months.
The honeymoon phase. Wait, what do you mean by the honeymoon phase? What?
No, you know, have you not heard that? Where
No.
Okay, right. No, okay, so it's basically like you know when it's flashy. So like the object, like the diamond is still flashy and shiny to you for the first 3 months, and then now it's like, oh, it's getting a bit, it's losing its shine, needs a bit of polishing.
So how long did that take for that to kind of?
So we started in September. I'd say like by October, I was like, I want the holidays.
quickly?
Yeah, no, like October holidays, I was like, I want the holidays. Mainly because there was so much drama in the first month, and I remember I was like, bro, I just want the holidays to meet the boys and
Yeah,
stuff.
maybe you're telling me
But
too
yeah,
much.
bro, September, I'd say October mid, but then November was when it really was like, I was just like, bro, so dead as well. And then teachers started getting on my case. I was like, bro.
I mean, like, you proved them wrong though. I remember you.
They might be watching this, but yeah, big up.
No, but I remember it was I think it was like the summer between year 12 and 13. We were talking
Bro, I got
about-
stiffed so hard. I remember. Do you remember when I went to one of our old teachers? I went to one of our old teachers, got everything reassessed. He was like, "They've done you dirty," and I kept this.
He said that as well.
I kept this in mind. I told them, they were like, nah. Next time they did the assessment, just went a whole grade up. Bit
something
sus.
going on there,
Bit
yeah.
but either way, we backed it in the end and we smashed it.
Yeah.
I think from the get-go, they knew that I wasn't there to play around. Which really was annoying because I would somewhat oppose them time to time.
I think some people saw you as a threat as well from that point of view.
Oh,
How hard you were
bro,
working.
don't tell me, bro. People were like, "Oh, why are you doing so much work?"
How dare you? Yeah.
It's only September of because like I'd even do media work at that point. I go to the library and graft for like a few hours, and they'd be like, "Oh, why are you doing that? Let's just sit in the and just have fun." Are you here to get a qualification or just take the piss?